For most of his life, Ron Howard appeared to move through fame without being touched by the shadows that often follow child stars. Yet behind his calm demeanor, warm grin, and extraordinary achievements was a world of unspoken pain, private regrets, and a family battle that cut deeper than any career disappointment he ever endured. Born Ronald William Howard on March 1, 1954, in Duncan, Oklahoma, he was brought into a world where imagination and uncertainty lived side by side, thanks to his parents, actor Rance Howard and actress Jean Spiegel, who introduced him to show business so early that by 18 months old, he was already on screen in Frontier Woman, beginning a lifelong journey he didn't consciously choose but was swept into. When the family moved to California in the late 1950s, Ron's childhood shifted away from normal moments and toward a life structured around auditions, tutoring sessions, and film sets, something he would later call a golden cage. Beautiful on the surface, yet isolating in ways he only understood as an adult. Everything changed again on October 3, 1960, when The Andy Griffith Show premiered and 6-year-old Ron became Opie Taylor, the country's favorite symbol of innocence, all while he quietly studied in a tiny room at Desilu Studios, listening to children playing outside as his father coached him through scenes, insisting he act truthfully rather than cutely. Although adored by millions, Ron spent years feeling like the world's child rather than his own person, and that emotional weight slowly followed him into adolescence. When the show ended in April 1968, he was 14 but carried the emotional load of someone much older, having spent 8 seasons living inside a fictional town while missing the messy freedom other kids enjoyed. During The Music Man in 1962, an 8-year-old Ron felt overwhelmed by a dance routine and whispered to Shirley Jones that he couldn't handle it, a moment the crew concealed by filming him from the knees up so that audiences never saw the fear behind his performance. In 1974, when he stepped into Happy Days, his role as Richie Cunningham once again shaped his identity in the public eye. But by 1977, at 23, he felt trapped inside a character untouched by the real world's changes, even urging ABC to include a storyline referencing Vietnam, only to be rejected. Feeling suffocated, Ron realized that directing was his way to reclaim himself, and his breakthrough came with Roger Corman's offer to star in Eat My Dust in exchange for directing Grand Theft Auto. Films like Night Shift, Splash, Cocoon, Willow, and Parenthood cemented his reputation, but Apollo 13 in 1995 pushed him beyond his limits with 18-hour shoots for 90 consecutive days and 612 zero-gravity sequences until he collapsed from exhaustion and dehydration. Yet the deepest wound came in 1991, when he left Cheryl with newborn twins, Jocelyn and Bryce, for 6 months while filming Far and Away, only to return to children who barely knew him. A moment he confessed in 2025 shattered him. Although he tried never to repeat it, the cycle resurfaced during Cinderella Man in 2005, forcing him to confront his lifelong need to say yes to everything. What truly broke him, however, was his younger brother Clint, a fellow child actor who survived addiction after Ron's 1990 ultimatum, now facing a serious, life-altering illness that Ron cannot control or fix. At 71, with a $200 million legacy, Ron has stepped back from long productions, realizing he spent decades telling the world's stories while letting pieces of his own slip away.